Okay, so what is the purpose of life? This question always struck me as a bit tragic in the sense that as human beings we could spend our entire lives living all the experiences we live. You know, being born, going through education, getting jobs, having families, having kids basically, and going through that whole process of life for 70, 80, 90, 100 plus years. And look back in life and ask ourselves, well, what was it for? What did I do it all for? What was the purpose for my existence for actually being here in the first place? And we may possibly die without ever knowing. And that is actually a bit tragic in a sense. Now, the purpose of life can never be personal to just one person. It has to be truly representative of all life forms for it to be the purpose of life. If I said this is the purpose of life and somebody else says, well, no, that's the purpose of life, and we've got two different purposes of life from a subjective point of view, then it can't reflect the truth. Okay, truly the only way you can see the purpose of life is to look at things from a holistic point of view, from a universal point of view. So look at the universe, look at the way it's structured, look at the way it moves. If you observe the way things in the universe actually have evolved over time, the way the earth was formed, the way seeds grow into huge trees, the way the human life form has gone from a single-celled embryo, and during its maturation phase it grows and evolves into a multi-trillion-celled conscious life form. And all other life forms on this planet do a similar type thing. They all go from a very simple design to a very advanced complex design according to their own basic design. They are evolving. Everything is evolving and moving in a sort of evolving or evolutional way. So life is designated that this is the case, that this should be true. It moves in that direction, whether you want to or not. And if you do try and move against life, so if you make mistakes and things don't go right, it's got its own built-in mechanism which is called pain to say, hey, you're doing something wrong. You should stop, look at what you're doing wrong, correct it, and not make the same mistake in future. Okay, so in its own basic design, life has got its fail-safe mechanisms in place to push you in a certain direction, to say, I want you to go this way. Now, because of the way that it's structured this way, you can say, well, hold on, if it moves in that direction, and I can't go against it because it's going to cause pain, it's going to cause suffering every time I try and go against the movement of life and what it wants, then it's telling you to go in that direction. And ultimately, it actually, if you look from an external point of view or a relative point of view, it uses pain on the outside to push us more towards the core of what we are. And that essence of pure oneness or love is in the source of who we are. So it uses pain and suffering in that sense on the outside, which we're supposed to learn from, and we often don't. But pain and suffering on this side and pushes us towards love and unity on the inside. Now if we follow that natural path, the purpose of life is essentially to be the best human being that you can be. Humans have been evolving over thousands or millions of years, and their structure, their conscious life form structure, has become more complex, more advanced and more aware. But they're far from basically completing their evolutionary journey. So the essential purpose of life is related directly to the movement of life itself. And the movement that life wants everything to take is on an evolutional direction. It wants all life forms to evolve to their full potential. That is the purpose of life. Okay, so to be the best human being you can be is the fundamental purpose of life. Now the next question becomes then, how do I become the best human being that I can be? What does that actually mean? And that's in another video.